Welcome. Today we're going to explore a really powerful way to think about anxiety, inspired by the teachings of Girish Jha. The goal here isn't just to manage anxiety, but to actually transcend it. So let's just dive right in.
All right, let's kick things off with a big question, one that really challenges something a lot of us have just accepted as true. Is anxiety actually a good motivator? So on one side, you've got this very common belief, right, that a little bit of anxiety is the fuel that helps us perform, that it gets us to get things done. But then on the other side, there's this radically different idea that real true motivation actually comes from a place of calm and focus. So let's start by really pulling apart this whole idea that anxiety is some kind of useful tool we need for success. This really just exposes a huge flaw in the logic, doesn't it? Think about it. We see all sorts of programs for building focus, calm, confidence, but have you ever seen an anxiety-building program designed for success? Of course not. It just doesn't exist.
And this really gets to the heart of it. When you're in that moment, when you're actually feeling anxious, ask yourself, does it help you solve the problem in front of you? Well, according to this perspective, the answer is a very clear no. In fact, it just clouds your judgment instead of sharpening it. And this leads us to a really fundamental and honestly life-changing shift in perspective. This idea that you are not the anxiety you're feeling, that there's a separation between who you truly are and the emotions that are just passing through you. So the core practice here is something called the observer technique. And the key is you're not trying to fight the anxiety. You're not trying to fix it or push it away. You're learning to create some distance, to just watch it, almost like it's an object that's separate from you.
This is such a profound, yet simple statement. Think about it. If you can be aware of your anxiety, if you can observe it, then by definition, it cannot be all of you. The one who is knowing is separate from the thing that is known. Okay, so if you are not your anxiety, then who are you? This brings us to this amazing concept of the real self.
Just think about your own experience, even just today. One minute you might be happy, the next you're frustrated or maybe worried. Your internal state is in constant motion. It's always shifting and changing.
And yet, through all of those shifting states, there is one constant, the part of you that is simply aware of it all. That you that is watching all these thoughts and feelings come and go. That part of you remains steady.
This is the central metaphor, and it's beautiful. Your real self, that core consciousness, it's like the vast, unchanging sky. And all your thoughts, your feelings, your anxieties, they're just clouds. They pass through, sure, they might even obscure the sun for a moment, but they can never, ever harm or change the sky itself.
Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, but how do we actually do it? How do we put this into practice? Let's look at a really concrete mindfulness exercise that you can use. Here are 4 simple but really powerful steps. First, you just ground yourself in your physical reality. Then you scan your body, not to fix anything, just to notice. And when that feeling of anxiety shows up, you don't fight it. You just observe it as a separate thing. And finally, you reinforce that separation with that simple mantra, "It is not me." Of course, this raises a really important question. If we can observe our anxiety and know it isn't really us, why does it feel so automatic? Why is it so persistent? Why does it keep coming back? I absolutely love this analogy from the source material. It compares our minds to an iPhone. You know how an iPhone is pretty much always sending out a signal, its location? Well, in the same way, our minds are always being influenced by a whole lifetime of past impressions, basically old mental and emotional habits. These act like an internal IP address, constantly triggering those old anxious patterns. So the goal of awareness is to stop recording new negative patterns, which helps those old ones finally start to fade away. So this all leads to a complete, total reframing of anxiety itself. This is a real game changer. Instead of seeing anxiety as this flaw or this enemy that we have to defeat, we can start to see it as material for our practice. It's like a signal, a little flag that shows us exactly where we're still getting stuck with our thoughts and where we need to apply our awareness. And this quote just beautifully summarizes the new approach. When we resist or fight our anxiety, we just make that knot tighter. But when we approach it with a sense of curious observation, with contemplation, we create the space for that knot to loosen and dissolve all on its own. And now leaves us with one final thought to ponder. What if your anxiety isn't your enemy, but it's actually your teacher?
What could you learn if you started to see it not as a problem to be fixed, but as a guide, pointing you back to the calm, steady awareness of your real self?